morning, everyone. Can you hear me? Yes?
Yes.
It's working. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you for being part of and attending all the Peruvian Pavilion panels. They're really interesting. I recommend them. So my name is Yanina Jimenez. I'm the Communications and Sustainability Officer for AGE Group in Peru. AGE Group is a Peruvian company. It's a Peruvian-based company that now it's in more than 20 countries in 4 different continents. And we are really proud, please join us. And we are really proud to present here at the COP and to be part of this Peruvian pavilion. And today we're gonna have this really interesting panel. The name is Natural Revolution, the Answer to Climate Change. And you will understand a little bit more later on with the presentation, what is this natural revolution model that we are proposing for all the companies. And now I would like to invite our panelists. And first I would like to invite Milagros Sandoval. She's the General Director of Climate Change and the Certification from the Ministry of the Environment of Peru. Thank you, Milagros, for joining us. And then I would like to invite Akansha Katri. I'm not sure if this is the right name. Yeah. Akansha Katri. She is the head of Nature and Biodiversity from the World Economic Forum. And also we have Samuel Dyer. He's the director of Pro Amazonia Group. Last but not least, Jorge López Dóriga. He is our head of communications and sustainability for AGE Group. We're going to start with brief presentation regarding what is the natural revolution, so you will all better understand what is this new era, a new model. Please, Jorge, the floor is yours.
Okay. Welcome, everybody. I put the PPT in Spanish so that for the Spanish speakers, but maybe don't understand English, but I like to do the presentation in English for all our foreign guests. So welcome to the natural revolution. That is really a response of nature in connection with humans to climate change. And now, would you ask, what is the natural revolution? No? Well, for the last 150 years, we lived under the spell of the Industrial Revolution. And what happened is that for these 150 years, we transformed humans into consumers. So everybody talks about consumers like something natural. The countries actually measure themselves by the confidence level of their consumers. So of course, if you turn humans into consumers, what is their role to consume? There were 500 million humans on Earth before the Industrial Revolution. Now we are 8 billion humans. 8 billion humans that their role is to consume. So what have they done? Consume what we done. Consume all the natural resources of the planet. But of course, there has been created, this is one of the reasons that we're all standing here, is that humanity is concerned. We are depleting. It's not only climate change, it's loss of biodiversity, it's the heating of the oceans, it's the acidity of the soils. So humans are starting to get very worried. And they're also changing the relationship they have with the products they buy. So these new generations, we don't have consumers anymore. We have what we call conscious users. And the conscious users, before they buy something, they ask themselves 3 questions. Number 1, is it good for me? Is it healthy? Because of course we just passed through COVID. And the humans realize that the answer to their health is not to consume more medicines. It's how can I raise up my defenses in order to be able to fight all these new diseases. In other words, I have to eat natural and nice. So first thing they ask, is this good for me? Number two, is it good for society, this thing that I'm buying? And number three, is it good for nature? So now we have this new conscious user. And this new conscious user, interestingly enough, is ready to pay much more for a product that is natural and biodiverse that will be for an industrialized monoculture product. So they're suddenly very interesting. I always put the example. You have this monkey, you get this grain of coffee, you pass it through all these machines, you get this can of instant coffee. Okay, it costs $2. There is this monkey in the Amazon, gets that grain of coffee, passes through his stomach, drops it. A little bag like this is worth $500. So welcome to the natural revolution, you know? So, but not only you have a change in the mind of the humans, you also have a change in companies. See, what was the role of the companies of the Industrial Revolution? To satisfy the needs of the consumer. That was theirs. But in this new natural revolution, the role of the companies have to be to satisfy the needs of Mother Earth. How can, as a corporation, how can I satisfy the needs of Mother Earth? And of course, AGE is a company that is born in Peru. We are born in the middle of biodiversity in the mountains of Peru. And what does Mother Earth need in Peru? It needs to stop immediately the deforestation of the Amazon. Because we are not an industry, we are all here in the COP. You know, we are here with a pledge to avoid the planet to go above 1.5 degrees. Well, Peru has signed the Paris Agreement to go into this pledge. But Peru is not an industrialized country. Over 60% of the carbon emissions of Peru come from deforestation and change of land use. So if Peru wants to get to the climate agreements, the first thing it needs to do is to stop deforestation. But people don't deforest the jungle because they're mean or they're ignorant. They do it because they believe they're going to have a better economic income with a deforested forest than with one that is standing. So we have to convince the world that the future of the Amazon jungle is in its beautiful biodiversity. I always put this example here because what happened to we're talking corporations here, we're talking corporations of the Southern Hemisphere, of South America. So after the fall of the Berlin Wall, suddenly the global world started. And the companies like AGE that in the 80s and the 90s started doing business, we were looking up to the big corporations coming from Europe or United States, like, oh, you know, they're Superman and Superwoman, you know, like, because companies behave like humans. So when you're a little kid, you think mom and dad are Superman and Superhuman. Then you become an adolescent. What you want to do? You want to be part of the group. You don't want to be somebody different. You want the group to recognize you as somebody that is cool, you know? But then you become an adult and you realize that mom and dad are not Superman and Superhuman, and that the group of friends you were around with, they were not really that cool, no. So the same thing happens with companies. So the Latin American companies, you know, they were looking at these big American or European corporations like, wow. And then later on, just the fact that they were recognized as being multinationals, and they could go to New York and hit the little bell out there in NASDAQ and go, oh, wow, I'm part of the group. I'm being recognized. But then you become an adult and you have to create your own identity. You realize that that group of friends you were with, they were not actually that cool, you know, that we're all standing here in part because of this group of friends. So we have to find our own identity, you know. And what is our identity? Biodiversity. That's what we have. You know, if you go to the G meetings, at the G20 meeting, you will not find there, you know, Peru. Peru is probably G90. But in biodiversity, we are G7. We can be in the G7 meeting of biodiversity. If I show you that phone out there, I tell you it has the highest technology in the world. It has the best camera, the biggest memory, and it's made in Peru. You're going to laugh at me. But if I tell you it's made in China or in the United States, you're going to go, oh, wow, I buy it immediately. But if I show you these drinks that you can taste now, I tell you they have no chemicals, no preservatives, they no sugar added, and they are 100% natural, made with super juices from the Amazon, and they're made in China, or they're made in the United States, you're going to say, sorry, I don't believe you. It cannot be natural. But if I tell you it's made in Peru, it's made in Colombia, or it's made in Ecuador, you're going to go, wow, they have to be good. Competitive advantage, our biodiversity. So, coming from our Amazon jungle. So we have to convince to the world that the future of the Amazon is on a green gold. That the green gold in the Amazon, if you leave it standing and you keep it, has much more value than the black gold or the yellow gold. So we created this project, and we have the support of the French government in Ecuador and the British government Partnership for Forest in Peru and Colombia, that is called Superfruits that Preserve Forest, the jungles, no, that preserves the forest. As an example of, but now we're going to have discussions of how can we lead for this natural revolution. And see, during the Industrial Revolution, there was this thing of the win-win. It was competition. It was all about competition. And it was about win-win. Whenever somebody comes to me and he says that this deal we're going to close is a win-win situation, I know he's going to make much more than this. You know? So now in this new natural revolution, you have the triple win. Not the win-win, triple win. It has to be good for the user, good for me, good for society, and good for the environment. This is the triple win that the new products have to think of. I'm making some new innovation. First question, is it good for your user? Second question, is it good for society? Third question, is it good for nature? If not, it's not innovation. Okay, so after this, I will leave it to our distinguished guests to have, Janina is going to ask them some questions about this natural revolution and what are their perspectives on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, George. And I'm pretty sure you all have fallen in love with the natural revolution as I did when I first met George and all the projects that we have. And I would like to start with Milagro because she has to leave soon. And the first question will be from the, you have to turn it on, I think. The first question is, how do you think, from your government perspective, that we can improve, we can have more of this bio business, and in terms of having the support of the government, but also having more private and public sector alliances?
Thank you very much for the invitation, and definitely I think that the example that Jorge has mentioned today, the work that's happening in the country is super useful, and it's definitely important to highlight and leverage this work that we're doing. From the point of view of the government, I think we have to see all this as value chain. And the value chain, in this case especially, starts with nature, as you have mentioned before. And one of that is reducing deforestation, but also giving incentives to those that are in the territories, to those people that are on the ground, and mainly are indigenous groups and local communities, in order for them to have the possibility of having livelihoods, better livelihoods for the overall and education and health and that is needed to have a good livelihood. So if we see the value chain, probably one of the first things that we need to address is having a specific investment on the ground, working with communities. Not only working, for example, and we see that a lot in civil society in many of the work that has been portrayed during these days, related to how we need to work with indigenous groups, with local communities to make their activities better on the ground. Then probably the next step would be how do you find markets for those if they're doing, for example, some superfood or coffee or cocoa or other products that are very related to nature and support reducing deforestation and building incentives. How do we find markets? Not only inside the country, I'm looking at from Peru right now, and not only inside the country, but also outside. And how that can give a better price to those that are working and investing, specifically in indigenous peoples and local communities. And then I can go on and forward. I think that this is a matter of working as government. We need to start addressing these issues together in order to highlight the importance and specifically the story behind all of this. When you have this, the juice in your hand, or when you have coffee that's zero deforestation, as in my colleague from CI, or when you have cocoa, right, when I see that, we have to really understand how to tell the story. There's a story behind. Peru can definitely explain a story behind, and it's not necessarily us in the government that have to tell the story. It's those that are in the forefront of deforestation, those that are on the ground, working and supporting the livelihoods of those men and women and even children, boys and girls that depend on nature to thrive. So that's definitely something that we need to address. And it's linking up that value chain, but also being able to tell the story so that that's what we're buying, not a product. We're buying a story. Thank you.
Thank you. And as you mentioned, for us, communities are our allies, and they compromise to have and to preserve the jungles and the trees stand. And also, we have a beautiful stories behind every bottle or every box of our uses. So it is important to let us share these stories with the people. And now I would like to ask Ascancha. So now that you know about the Natural Revolution, Peru is in the top 5 of biodiverse countries. Understanding this new concept, how can biodiverse countries can lead this new era?
Thank you. And also just for the presentation and the remarks, it was quite mind-opening. I'll just pick up on what they said. We don't often hear these topics in G7, G20 economies. 17 countries in the world have 70% of women's biodiversity. Would it be wonderful if we actually had a G17 and flip the way we look at capital? So the G20 and G7, we are all based on the concept of gross domestic product, because that's all that we are measuring. If we were to measure something like a gross ecosystem product, that would be a completely different set of countries. We would be talking about both the natural capital stocks and the services that we provide to the rest of the world. So for countries which are biodiverse rich, I think the assets are already there. I think what we need to think about is a go-to-market strategy, is how do we get these products and natural economies and the consumers who are more conscious rather than just mindless consumers. And I fully agree with what you said, is unified product, which are actually story. Think about an Apple iPhone or product. And just look at the value chain end-to-end. So it's an experiment that only I have the time and resources to do it. If you look at the value chain, what percentage of the profit is there where the production is, and what percentage of the profit is where the marketing as well as the distribution is. So the film itself will be saying X, but by the time it reaches the person who's buying it, it's thinking X. So I think it's recognizing that we have strength, how we connect to the market, connect to the value chains, that will differentiate the factor. I think I also really want to mention the piece about communicating the knowledge of the private sector into the school system. So the World Economic Forum last year actually released a report which talks about embedding individuals' knowledge in business decision making. And that first and foremost requires moving away from language such as beneficiaries, consultation. It really has to be a partnership from the beginning. Because it's the indigenous peoples, the local communities, the farmers who are actually stewards of our diversity. So again, if we are talking about the food-based system, because I think that's what we are challenging on to think here, is not to think about an industrial revolution or technology revolution, is to think about natural revolution. So if it's the natural revolution, who are the leaders, the 2070, and then who are the stewards, they are the ones who should be compensated for. And yeah, from the World Economic Forum, we are definitely keen to take this forward.
Thank you very much. I have a microphone here. Thank you very much, Askancha. And as you say for us, oh yeah, a big round of applause for her. And as you mentioned, for us, communities are our allies, and they are inside our chain value. They are not our enemies. That's not the way we work with them. And they know, and later on probably I will show you a video I can share with you, and how proud are they that their products are now in other countries and we are exporting this beverage, and they feel part of this. So like, now we're part of your business too, so that's the way to think about it. And now I would like to have Samuel Dyer, and I will do this in Spanish, but I want to ask the question in English and then I will translate in Spanish. So companies, large and small, are changing the way they do business to attend the needs of modern nature, and that's what we want to think. What do you think it will be the, like 3 key points for companies to join this model? I'm going to go ahead and touch. Las empresas están cambiando la manera que hacen negocios hoy en día para poder atender las necesidades de la madre naturaleza. ¿Cuáles creen que serían como 3 claves principales para que las empresas hoy puedan sumarse a este cambio?
Bueno, número 1 es que algo importante para tomar conciencia que tenemos que proteger los ambientes de muchos recursos naturales, como son los recursos de la combustible del lenguaje, que son problemas. El lanzamiento de marcas, nuevos envases, agua, trabajo, un cambio de seguridad. Y creemos que ese es un tema importante, tomar conciencia, tenemos que ver cómo de los 12 millones se llegan ya terminan con bosques nuevos, o sea, reforestarlos, tanto como para que sean bosques, tanto para que sea de industria o manera cultural. Entonces estamos con esas actividades en esas áreas reforestadas, hay empleo para toda nuestra nación. Esos son los factores como motivar que el emprendimiento del gobierno, los ciudadanos, usando los recursos naturales en cada responsabilidad. El gran problema que hay en la Amazonía, y lo conocen, somos todos, no hay proyectos ambas. Una empresa como la nuestra, ¿cómo conseguir préstamos con interés anual de hoy día que está caro? Lo conseguimos a 3%, hoy lo conseguimos a 8%, 110% anual. Esos pobres emprendedores, cuando tienen que sacar créditos, ese 10% lo van tema de interés de ciencia. Imposible que sean sostenibles. Imposible. Es una utopía decir que ellos van a hacer negocio. Si no fuera por aquello que los gobiernos están haciendo grandes y la logística, desafortunadamente deshabilitan a las tecnologías, posiblemente no pudieran sacar. Pero esto todavía es pequeño. Se me queda de costo de ingeniería hace mucho. Esto es muy importante, es el trabajo conjunto de los emprendedores, pero necesitamos la presencia del Estado. El día de hoy el Estado, en Minam, es un ministerio de problemas, preocupado por el tema de la Amazonía, por ejemplo, se da mucho apoyo a los negocios, como estaba Jorge, que una licencia para muchos emprendedores no tiene la comisión, pero el Ministerio se nos ha sacado. Había una tecnología muy burocrática y limitada, pero ahora muy simplificado. O sea, así hay. Bueno, en general, para toda la Amazonía, para sacarla de su situación, tenemos que ir a la presencia del Estado. Dejamos las instituciones de seguridad del Estado, dejamos las instituciones como está quedando que son pueblos, que defienden los derechos humanos. Y el sagrado derecho humano que existe hoy día a vivir en un ambiente saludable, pues la Amazonía es y ahí también tienen muy vinculado al tema del agua. Ayer fue el día del suelo. Es el suelo del agua, ¿no? Es una conclusión. Nosotros estamos trabajando de la mano con el emprendedor, de la mano con el cliente, con el interés. Y hemos querido ir a un plan estratégico a 30 años y decir al mundo, hagamos un plan más relajado, acá estamos los amazónicos para resolver este problema. Si nosotros ustedes no lo hacen, y nosotros si ustedes no lo hacen, si los países ricos, porque les damos los recursos financieros. Estimamos que la Amazonía peruana necesita en los próximos 30 años 100.000 millones de dólares de dinero. Porque necesitamos más policías, ¿no? Hoy día un policía con una bota no puede ir a protección cosa, no tiene nada, no tiene cocina, no tiene gramo, no tiene helicóptero, no hay nada. La Amazonía está abandonada por el Estado. No hay presencia, no hay buena educación, no hay presencia en la seguridad. Nuestro territorio está desabandonado. Por eso, si 300 años hemos perdido 2 veces el territorio de la Amazonía que puede tener más. Entonces, vamos a tener una presencia del Estado en inversiones, en infraestructura, conectividad, internet, trenes, puertos, aeropuertos. No para defender la Amazonía, sino para trabajar lo que hay hoy en día y proteger también los 60 millones y ojalá que esos 66 millones que van a ser 30, 72, al menos la mitad de los del Estado. Gracias.
Muchas gracias, Samuel. Súper ilustrativa tu experiencia. And as Samuel mentioned, we need the support from, of course, the government, but also we need the support from the conscious users, because we are not aiming to understand why it is important to pay a little bit more, maybe, for a product that has this chain value behind. And George, I would like to finish the question with you, and then there will be one more time for you to give your opinion. But coming from a company that is already living the natural revolution, what do you think were like the key factors that made us go through this? Go through this, because maybe you don't know, but this project started at 2015, and it took us not a long way, but it took us some time to figure out this model. So I would like to share with us and with the people that is maybe online and companies that want to do the same. What will be like the key factors to start leading the natural revolution?
Yeah, I mean, I was talking to the Glasgow, I was talking to the president of Glasgow, and he was saying, I was saying, what do you think of this? And I said, well, it's interesting because we see a lot of initiatives for energy transition from fossil fuels to green energy. But we are missing a lot of nature-based solutions. And of course, what's the problem in nature? I mean, an energy transition that is fundamental for the planet you get all these banks, all these investment funds, and everybody, and you go, okay, it's the same model. Okay, I was using fossil fuels, now I use green energy. But I can talk to same bankers, the same people, and close the same things. But when you're talking about nature-based solutions, you have to get the indigenous communities, the people who live in that land. And this is the first key factor for business. We started in 2015, but the first bottle went out in the market in 2011. Why? Because what we did is, we're currently working with over 30 communities, over 600 families across the island. What we did, we were in a boat. We went to each of those communities and talked to them and closed an agreement with each community. And no intermediaries, directly with them. We buy the superfoods from them at a fair price, because that's another big problem. A couple of years ago, the farmers of Central America went bankrupt. Why? The little farmers, because they were selling their coffee at a very high price because there was a little bit of coffee. The coffee, and then they made loans, they did everything to project for the future. Next year, a lot of coffee, the price went down, they went back. So what do? We tell them, we say, look, we agree to a price for your fruits, and I want to maintain that price. It doesn't matter if there is a lot of fruit or there is little fruit. You can project for the future because you're going to have a fair price on it. And we close this personal relationship with them, and this is what we're doing. That's why first bottle came out. Of course, also because it was R&D, this is new technology. These fruits were never put in cooking, so we have to do a lot of work with it. A lot of these drinks come from palm, and of course, the palm has a lot of oil, so you have
To figure out.
But the point is that we have this relationship with these communities, and this is a key factor. You have to go to the beginning of the value chain, because the whole idea is to empower the indigenous communities. See, if you want to extract oil or you want to extract mining minerals from the Amazon, you bring people from outside the Amazon because they are experts in this. But if you want to collect superfoods from a primary forest, who are the only ones who know where the superfoods are and how to do it? The indigenous communities. So what you're really doing is empowering them into doing whatever they do, and they are the biggest experts. Now, one of the leaders from one of the communities, he had never left his community. Now he's trying to Ecuador and Colombia to teach the Ecuadorian communities and the Colombian communities on how to do the business. So they are now suddenly becoming international figures on biodiversity. So I think that's the key factor here, empower the indigenous communities to do whatever they want.
Thank you, George. And as the whole question says, it's not easy. Nobody said it was going to be easy. And working with communities will probably need to change a little bit the model or the way of how we do business first. But it's something that we have to do in order to keep the biodiversity of our planet, because if we don't do it now, we may not have the chance to do it in the future, because there will be no more biodiversity. So, yeah, something that we learned from the Care for Environment panel where we were invited is that it is now the time where all the companies need to focus on preserving biodiversity. Because if you want to have a business in the future, you need biodiversity somehow. So this is the only way to do it. And just to finish, we would like, I don't know, this question is for all of the three of you. And also, we're going to have a little bit of time. So if someone in the public wants to have questions for our speakers, we want. And yeah, the last, it's not a question, but if you can mention 3 or 1 or 2 initiatives that you have in mind that has been successful supporting the preservation of the forest, that we can, with your examples, we can inspire maybe the people that is in the audience. That would be wonderful. I don't know if you have it in mind now. I'm gonna do it in Spanish for Samuel. Si tienes 3 ejemplos en mente de negocios o proyectos que estén relacionados a preservar la biodiversidad o bionegocios que te gusta compartir con la audiencia y así podemos inspirar a pequeñas compañías que están en la audiencia, sería genial. Tal vez empezamos contigo, Jorge, que probablemente lo tienes en mente. Or Akancha, you have it in mind? Well, maybe it's a hard question.
But we have another person.
Which one? No, I don't. Oh, you can do it. Which one?
Yeah,
How can private and public sector work together to fight climate change?
So, bueno, ejemplos. Creo que es importante aquí tener ejemplos examples. I think it's very important to get models to follow. And it was interesting because I was invited in a World Economic Forum meeting in Manaus, where we were discussing, they are fascinating, by the way, the meetings of the World Economic Forum, because it's not people talking and everybody else listening. They invite 70 people from all the sectors of the Amazon. In fact, the 6 nations of the Amazon were invited. There were people from the government, people from the universities, there were scientists, there were small entrepreneurs, there were indigenous communities, and there were corporations. And then at one point they separated us in different groups. And to discuss how can we do biobusinesses, how can we protect the Amazon, giving value to the forest. And they separated us in 7 things. You know, you have government, you have universities, or you have academy, you have, the science, there were like 7, 8, 9 people. And then, of course, you have smaller. I had like 10, 8 people per table. And there were big enterprises. And it was me representing Aceh and Natura. That was all. The table was empty. And this, so you have a lot of small entrepreneurs, a lot of startups that are pushing this. And still, there is those big companies that want to invest in the jungle with nature-based solutions. So, I mean, for example, Natura. Natura, they are from Brazil, they are from the southern hemisphere, that's Peru. We do drinks, they do cosmetics. But it's the same beautiful model. And it was beautiful because the person I was sitting with, it was the person whose role was community relations. So it is not from finance, it's not from marketing, it's not from his role is to talk to the community. In Acompáñanos, we have the same general manager of Acompáñanos, it is the person who talks and close with everybody. So it was a beautiful, that was a super meeting. And so you have to change the way your partners are the indigenous communities. And we've been invited by, for example, from the ambassador of the UK in Colombia. And he invited us for a lunch. And he put in that table the major companies of Colombia. So that we could tell them the story and we could tell them, yes, you can be a big company, and say it's now the 6th largest beverage company in the world, and you can do business to serve them. So we still lacking in corporations that want to do that. And this is our role. Our role is to spread the voice and to try to convince them that it is possible.
Thank you, Joris. And maybe we can go back to Akancha so she can share with us how can private and public sectors can work together to fight climate change?
I think that one I would just say an example of Unity. Everyone who comes to write is strengths and etc. There's a particular theme that we have, which is really with 3 points in a row. One, because the products of the organization times a year, then we try to shift in the model of having everything all the time 12 months a year. That's not how nature works. So I think we have to educate consumers and value chains that we are partnering with indigenous people, we are partnering with nature, and we are creating some lessons better. On how they will be public-private collaboration for climate change. And I would say recognizing that climate change and nature was are not really issues. Stable climate is an outcome that we work with nature and nature. It is something which is an ecosystem service, the way our nature has an ecosystem service. And many of you would also be aware of something called a vicious feedback loop. So when you have the private sector coming up with business models, it gives confidence to governments to create new policies because they know what positive signal from the government. This business models can move from a minority to majority. So I feel it's important to have more and more of these dialogues so that the public sector is aware of it. Because today most of the governments, whether good or bad, it's definitely a fear of the election. Many of the corporate CEOs have a general fear of being picked by the position. So family businesses, philanthropists have a use to play as well. To say that are we looking long term or not, are we just looking for the next 3 to 4 years, which is our cycle of the election or the event. So I really feel like the more dialogue about the exactly sharing the capital.
Thank you, Sunshine. As you mentioned, we know that that's part of our role. That's why we are participating and attending all the invites that we have because we want to share our experience and, of course, spread, as you say, spread the voice about it is possible to be a corporation that works preserving biodiversity. It is possible. And just to finish, I would like to maybe, Samuel, you can share, Samuel, ¿tú puedes compartir con nosotros algún ejemplo que te venga en mente de un emprendimiento o empresa pequeña o grande que tenga un modelo de negocio que preserve el bosque, la biodiversidad y lucha contra el cambio climático?
Hay muchos, pero hacen pequeños. Escuché, por ejemplo, que bajaste el chaleco de la Amazonia.
Asesina.
Pero lo saqué del verano. Antes de una buena idea, no ir al bosque a bañar la casa. De la ruta de la Amazonía se para sacar de la Amazonía, pero yo no sé si hay lugares posiblemente deforestadas, reforestadas es una parte dedicadas a negocios, ya para que es una parte que sembrados. Porque hay detalles, ¿no? Es como la madera que sacan de los bosques. Yo tengo mucho con algunos amigos que siguen pensando que sacar la madera, la presión, llegar entre comillas, porque son bosques protegidos, hay composiciones. Siempre con sacar una madera fina, es un email, maderas nativas. Entonces, yo pienso que mejor usar esos bosques forestados en maderas cultivadas. Porque si uno lo cultiva la madera y esas áreas forestadas, tú puedes tener posiblemente 20, 30 veces más rentabilidad de bosques. Porque puedes criar, lo que yo uso pragmático es el negocio. Entonces, la posibilidad de la reducción es una especie no nativa. Y si alguien le tiene una vida de la cabeza, si no se podía dedicado, podría haber un millón de personas de la ganancia hoy día, no es número uno que está trabajando. Y el sitio del desierto, pero en la Amazonía tiene que pasar algo parecido. Ver que frutas exóticas o compostas también pueden ser producidas en granjas. Es un proceso, no es fácil, ¿no? El proyecto ha metido mucho y nosotros en el proyecto tenemos cómo hacer ejemplos, cómo hacer estudios de las plantas, mucho detalle, ¿no? La calidad es propia, estamos sacando variedades que hagamos, como que el arándano no es una fruta que no es una cultura de arándano se enfoca en los Estados Unidos, si a mí son entonces, yo dije, pero ¿por qué el señor nativo estamos acá? Eso no se puede pensar. Entonces, no comeríamos el tomate, que todo el mundo, el tomate, la papa, lo digo, ¿por qué traemos para acá? ¿Por qué se cambia? Aquí no permanece, bueno, Perú se tiene que hacer. Aquí no va a ser en todo el mundo, en China, es el mayor productor de niños del mundo hoy día. Entonces, hay ese tema ideológico que solo lo nativo hay que sembrar. Porque eso es un poco más adelante. Hay que sembrar lo que no daña la naturaleza, incluso hay que sembrar alimentos que se sacan de la sectores de muy buena calidad y de la basura, pero probablemente haciendo granjas en el futuro se podría sembrar abajo, se podría sembrar. De hecho, estamos haciendo, ¿no? Y se podría tener una buena rentabilidad para los emprendedores de los campesinos pequeños de esta zona que quieren producir sin destruir bosques, porque tienen bosques. Pero aprovechando aquellos que fundamentalmente no tienen que por actividades más. Gracias.
Muchas gracias, Samuel. Gracias por compartir tu experiencia. Tenemos unos minutos, no sé si es que alguien en la audiencia tiene alguna pregunta, si no, no sé, Jorge, si quieres dar unos closing remarks. Mientras piensa el público si tiene alguna pregunta.
My closing remarks will be, we have a newsletter for everybody to read.
Yes, please. Thank you very much for joining us.
The ambassador, the Spanish ambassador of Spain gave a speech once and said that the British say that you have short speeches and long speeches. The short speech is thank you. The long speech is thank you very much.
Thank you very much to all of us.